Good afternoon, good evening. Ongaku to you. Of December 21st, 2017. I'm your host, Ken. Who's with me today?
It is only me, Gray. Fortunately, Luna is unable to be here. She had a
Yes.
scheduling conflict.
Yeah, so it's just Dos Compadres right now. But
Woohoo!
yeah, how have you been, Gray? What you been listening to?
Uh, it's been a busy week, but been trying to get through some of the new albums that have been out the past couple of weeks that I just haven't got around to listening to. Like I finally just got around to listening to Shinaringo's new album, and I will be like I've never heard any of her music until this latest album, and I gotta say she is amazing. Like every time I listen to her music, I feel like my soul's in a Japanese nightclub. Like I
Oh,
just feel
nice.
it, and it's just like when I listen to her music, I'm like in my mind, I'm wondering, do they get her to do like all the Bond songs whenever there's a Bond movie, and they're like, okay, we need somebody to translate, we need somebody just get in the just to sing that style, like she is stellar, and like if you've never heard her, but you're you're doing yourself a misservice. Check her out. She is dope. Uh, and it stinks because she's not on the Oricron this week, but
Oh yeah.
it it is what it is. But I've been
It
listening
is
to
what it
her.
is.
I also got through the Bees album, and yeah, Dinosaur is amazing. And I've had the Bish album, Gorilla Killers. I don't know why I'm blanking on the name. Uh,
Gorilla Bish, yeah.
yeah, Gorilla Bish. I've had that on repeat for the past couple of days, and that's also a stellar album. That's mostly what I've been listening to. What about you, man?
Nice, nice. Um, I've been actually listening to a lot of stuff too, but I've been listening to a lot of older stuff. Um, I downloaded Fairy Wink. They had a new single, and if you guys don't know, Fairy Wink is a subgroup of one of the 48 sister groups, and what Akimoto, the I guess the producer for the AKB48 and pretty much all of the 48 subgroups, what he likes to do is he likes to make these tinier groups, and it they kind of hit on certain generations from like the 80s and 90s of the idols of those generations. Like for example, so this group is called Fairy Wink, and it is a I guess a homage to the group Wink back from the late 80s to mid 90s. And if you haven't listened to their album, it's called Tenchi wa Doko ni Iru, or Where Are the Angels? I would highly suggest it, especially if you really kind of like that older style. Me personally, because I do like the idols back then, more so. Well, I just like older music in general from the 80s and 90s, and just kind of listening how their Japanese style compared to how our American style is from the 80s is very, very interesting. Besides that, I've been listening to a lot of Nakashima Mika, ironically. Um, if you guys been following us on Twitter, I've been kind of posting what I've been listening to. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been listening to some of the newer stuff too, but it's not really catching me per
Uh,
se.
I will say I did leave out one thing. And I posted this on on my private social media, like the on Monday. But where I live, it's been really cold as of late, and like the past 2 days have been a heat wave. And so
No,
the other day, I broke out "Sunshine Girl" by Mamoon because
yeah,
it's just like whenever it gets warm enough and I get into the summer mood, I'm like I need a song in my life. and that was so yeah. That was me one day this week. Just like had that on repeat. Like yes.
Nice, nice, nice. But yeah, and with that, let's go into some news.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it's fairly light as of right now, mostly because it's pretty much the end of the year, and a lot of things that they have been announced or announcing been announced. Um, like for example, this was released a couple days ago, but Scandal just released their date for their new album. And
Yes.
what is it called, Gray?
The album is called Honey, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the exact date remembered off the top of my head, but I'm fairly certain it's March 9th, somewhere around there, beginning of March. Um, like yeah, I saw on their Facebook and their Twitter and Instagram, they are releasing a new album. It's called Honey. Um, we'll wait and see how good it is. I keep hoping like they'll return to like their older style because early Scandal was way more rock, and after their world tour album called Hello World, they've been way more pop, and Yellow has not been the best album. So, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. Their last single seemed to be a slight change in direction, so they might be doing something new and interesting this time around. But it is called Honey, so I'm going to set my expectations appropriately.
It's actually going to be released the on um, aptly named Honey. It's going to be released on Valentine's Day.
Oh well, I was a month off. I am so sorry.
Nah, no worries. But yeah, it's Valentine's Day. Just a little something sweet for the fans, right?
Yeah, oh, I mean, and they announced it a couple of days before Christmas. It's like, here's a Christmas present, and then we'll give you a Valentine's Day present. And then I don't
Like,
know what we're supposed to get them for White Day, but oh well.
just we buy chocolate for ourselves there.
Yes, I buy chocolate for myself every day, so I don't think that's going to
Oh
change.
man. um, let's go into some other news here. Nami Amuro is set to perform for the NHK Kohaku. For those who don't know, so every New Year's Eve, Japan has this thing called the red and white, the Kohaku. And it's basically kind of like to celebrate all the artists from both male and females that made it big throughout the entire year. Um, and it it is gonna be her last year, and it's gonna be her first time appearing in the Kohaku since 2003. So I guess because of her range within the music industry within Japan, I guess they kind of had to put her in there just to kind of say, this is our kind of farewell for her as a performer. Um, and the list was already released like a month beforehand, so her kind of just getting in there it's kind of interesting to say the least because they meticulously timed these things. So I wonder who got the axe or what song got cut short because of that.
There's no. Well, I mean, it's a long production, so they may have been able to find a wiggle room because it's a 4 or 5 hour show.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
It yeah,
there's
it's
plenty of
it's a
room.
long production. Yeah. Yeah, and some a lot of them they don't even sing a whole song. It's just snippets of their older songs and they kind of just that sold throughout the entire year. Like I remember when AKB first came on there, they pretty much debuted all their songs that they were like, yeah, this is our greatest hits. You know all of this, right? Kind of thing.
Yeah,
And what's very interesting is a lot of Korean groups actually been appearing on the Kohaku also.
that is interesting.
Yeah, I think they started that trend with Boa, but a lot more now. They've been kind of inviting them over because just how the Korean wave's been doing in Japan.
I
So
wonder, like, I don't know much about the K-pop industry or anything like that, but I am starting to wonder with the explosion of Korean pop music in Japan, and honestly, even here in America, like I'm starting to wonder, do you think like maybe Korean pop groups have a more global focus instead of like producing music only for their borders?
yeah, and I'm like me personally, yeah, I could understand that way to, because of the whole advent of social media and YouTube in general, because they want to have everyone kind of just watch it.
Yeah,
They aren't just thinking of the domestic market more so; they're thinking more so internationally. And honestly, I feel bad because that's the crux for the Japanese market right there. A lot of a lot of the things that they do is specifically for the domestic market, or it's so weird that that's how it becomes known in the international market, like Pineapple Pen and Pom Pom Pom. Those became kind of memes over the internet because of just how freaking wacky it is.
well,
If you haven't watched Pom 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 or anything that Caddy Pamu Pamu has done in her beginning of her career, a freaking mind trip to see that. I just did not even need to be high.
she supplied the high.
And she supplied the high, and I was just like, "What in the world is going on here?" Freaking the galaxy exploding out of her behind. Oh my freaking god! Just thinking about that. But yeah, let's go into the Oricron. Um,
Woohoo!
and as we switch over for that.
No,
Um,
no, we should get like a Oricron jingle. That way, that way, like every time we can just play that. Like, here
yeah,
comes the Oricron, the worst
we need to
Decepticon ever.
worst Decepticon ever because half of it is full of freaking Idolmaster.
Yeah, it's that week. Idolmaster reigns strong. Uh,
I mean, just looking at their releases, I can freaking understand because Idolmasters was turning out like 4 or 5 different singles and albums throughout the entire week.
yeah, like
So, yeah.
like it's crazy. And Idolmaster is huge in Japan, so
Yeah, so, yeah, to sell a total of 50,000 copies, yeah, I can understand why.
whoa,
But yeah,
that's a
yeah, fifty
lot.
thousand. Not as much as the number one. It is J Soul Brothers Happiness or JSB Happiness. It's done by the Sandaime J Soul Brothers from Exile Tribe, or the third generation of J Soul Brothers. So kind of like AKB48, Exile Tribe, and J Soul Brothers, they have groups that they kind of rotate in and out, and it's a really good song. If you really like Exile, the pop and beats, that's what you get in this song also.
I've not had a chance to dive into it yet, but I mean, what
It's
little bit I've heard of
yeah,
Exile Tribe, I mean, they've got a good dance beat. So if it's a brother um, group of them, like I'm certain it's good.
yeah. I mean, good enough to sell freaking 141,000 copies.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Somebody's
and
having a party over there.
apparently Rhythm Zone, their distributing label, they're having a good bookend of the year there.
Oh, they've been up.
And
They've been on the Oricon a lot this past couple of weeks. So yeah, they're probably having a good
yeah,
end of the year celebration. Like, let's keep pumping it out. Hey, they don't even have to pay a DJ to do their end of the year office party because I mean they can just bring in their bands. Like, hey, we're paying you people. Come in here, sing.
they're saying dance, bust the beats. But yeah, let's go down to number two. It's Owari Den Ochoite, Christmas Night or Bonenkai by ABC to Z. Um, this is one
Oh,
of the
that's how you say
smaller
that.
idol groups. Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
saw the ABC and then it's a dash and a Z, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
ABCZ, that's an interesting name. ABC to Z. Oh, that makes more sense.
yeah,
I'm on the train now. Which
yeah. On the train.
for the non-Japanese speaking audience, the name of the song actually translates to Beyond the Train, Beyond the Last Train.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And then Bonenkai. This would be very popular right around now. Because every company is having their Bonenkai. Bonenkai in English is the end of the year party. It's kind of like the appreciation party for like big Japanese company. It's basically an excuse to just see a bunch of drunk Japanese people out on the street.
yeah,
Like for example, I had my Bonenkai for my company on Monday, and let's just say did not stop with just whatever was served over there. It continued on.
my Bonenkai
to,
will be tomorrow,
to,
and will be alcohol free. So, it is what it is.
yeah, going on to like, if you look at their sales charts, there's a huge difference from ABC to Z to J Soul Brothers. They only sold 45,000 compared to 141,000.
Wow, jeez.
And just the amount of weight that Rhythm Zone is getting is fucking incredible. But I mean, Pony Canyon is the idol record label, so I'm not really. They'll do all right. But yeah, going on to number three. Oh baby, okay. It's a group called Snooper. It is a Korean group. They released a single called "Stand by Me." Um, like I said, personally, it's the Japanese version of the same song called "Stand by Me," and I mean it sold well. It's 33,000 copies, so not too bad. But yeah,
Solid.
not really much to say there. Yeah, and then we go on to number four and five.
Idol Master, the season when love blooms.
Oh, baby.
Which is really weird because it's winter and nothing's blooming in winter.
Yeah, yeah, it's winter. Yeah, fucking love is blooming somewhere. As long as it doesn't bloom on the battlefield, I mean, it's okay there, man. Oh, and then now we go down to number five. Idol Master Cinderella Girls Master Season Winter! Exclamation point. Uh, Twin Tails. Oh baby, Twin Tail no Kaze.
Wind of Twintail.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't say much about that.
Yeah.
Like I said
Again,
before, hit us out on the Twitter if you guys are an Idol Master, and because I sat down and I listened to it, and I just couldn't get through a couple of the songs. And me personally, my friend was like, why do you do not like Idol Masters too much? You loved AKB. It's pretty much the same thing. But I'm like, but but only if I would only like it is if I like the Seiyu, the voice actress itself.
yeah.
It's like they're playing a different character. That's why.
It's really weird because it's not they I don't want to say they're not a real idol group because they certainly are, but you're right. They're voice actresses. They're not traditional idols in that like they don't get up on the stage and perform and dance and sing. It is there's something lost. Um, in it all, I guess. Like it's just it's really it's to me I don't want to say it's weird, but it's certainly unique, and it's I mean, I'm glad that it has a fan base, and it's popular. I mean, Idol Masters is going to come back up. We're not done with them today. Like they
I
got
mean,
two more on here, and it
don't
like
remind
I'm
me.
glad that they have an audience, and they clearly speak to that audience. But you know,
And, it's pretty funny too because they sold the same amount of copies too. They sold about 20,000 copies, and that means the guys are or the people or everyone they're just buying the same copies for the same CDs.
yeah. Well, yeah, they'll probably be like, "Well, I like this. Oh, they got this one out too. Okay, I'll get this one." And just makes you wonder why the other two aren't as popular.
Oh yeah, I know. It's really funny because I would assume that they're the same people.
Yeah, like if you're
It's like
buying
the different.
if you're buying the first two, and you're maybe it's just like level of pickiness. Like there's some people that are buying all four of them, and maybe there's some people like, no, I only like when love blooms. Okay,
Yeah,
you have the
I only
right.
like when this voice actress sings it, and but yeah, that I digress. We'll talk more about this when we get to further down the line here.
Oh.
Okay, now going down to number 6. This is when we kind of see the numbers struggle. We got Ibish, not to be confused with Bish, with my friend and Kimi de Ipai. Um, it's, it's all right. I mean, this is the first time I've heard stuff by Ibish, so they have that. They do a lot of anime songs too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah,
One of the things that I do like about the Oricron is like you can sample some of the songs in the top 10, and but it's just some
yeah.
of them. It's not all of them, and it should be all of them. So yeah, I haven't heard this song. I don't know anything about it, but I do like
Yeah,
Bish. So
maybe. Yeah. But
yeah.
yeah, going down into number 7 by Token Tanshi Kasho Kayotsumi. It's a collaboration song. And the title of the song is Mitsu Mete Kure Nara. Yeah, I mean, I like the song. It's not too bad.
It's got a good dance beat to it.
Yeah.
Like it's certainly got
And
like a good dance beat to it. Definitely high
if you
symphonics.
listen, they have the song up on YouTube right now, and if you watch the performance, just seeing the guy in red fingernails and red painted fingernails, I mean that was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be one of those kind of groups.
Well, now the English translation of the group name is Swordsman Male Kaitsu Kiyohiko. So I'm like, there's a little redundancy there in the name because you don't need the
Yeah,
two male things. But
yeah. But yeah, I mean, just the both groups they went down from 18,000 and 13,000 respectively, and just seeing how singles go through. I mean, singles aren't too expensive. I want to say they're about 15 to 20 or $20 if we were to convert it into N style, and you can see that Jesus Christ that Rhythm Soul Zone has been knocking the charts, selling 141,000. And I'm
whew,
still amazed at that number. And I wouldn't be surprised if this single is still on for next week.
it's end of the year. Yeah, probably.
So, but
Because
yeah,
I don't know, there could be a surprise release, but yeah, I would imagine it'd probably be still on top.
yeah. Um, but let's go down to number 8 and 9. Another Idol Master. Yeah.
The
That's
enthusiasm
where
in your voice is so obvious and transparent.
yeah, I know. We gotta get a little buzzer there that just says Idol Master. Oh,
I don't know.
and I'm gonna be, oh God, please, oh the guy. Okay, and it's the Side M Animation Project 3 from Teacher to Future. I don't know what I just said in English.
No, I mean, it's like I have the English translation. It says the exact same thing. From
Yeah,
teacher to
it's in
future.
English.
So I guess it's the teacher singing to the students.
Maybe that's why it didn't sound well. Maybe that was the question right there in front of our faces.
Like, oh, we only care about the little girls singing. We don't care about the adults. Who
Yeah,
cares
we,
about
we don't
them?
care about them.
They're
We don't
they're
care
they're
about
they're
them.
soul sackless people who have already sold their lives to the industry by teaching
Yeah,
children. They're not important. Boo.
they're not important. Oh. And then going on to number 9 is Tomorrow Diamond. I'm gonna just skip all of that beforehand, so
I think
don't
there's
worry about that.
I think there's a guy in this cover art. Actually, I think it's two
I,
guys and a girl. So might
I
they
think
might
they're
be
both
mixing it up a little bit.
guys. So maybe that's why I didn't sell it too well.
No, I think
And
all
then
three of them were. It's whatever.
yeah, it's, going on to number 10. Now this is a big thing. Number 10 right here. You have a release from October,
Yes.
making the singles charts, and that's what I really like about the Orcon, because any song from any point in time can make the charts. It just matters on how much it sold that given week. And it's done. It's called Big City Rodeo by Generations from Exile Tribe. So I'm guessing because the Exile Tribe was on everyone's mind, they were like, "Oh, let's go look at some of the other singles that they released throughout the year."
Yeah.
So I can see that. And it sold a very modest 12,000 copies. And I'm like thinking to myself, throughout the entire week, you sold 12,000 copies. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Total, they sold 150,000 copies. Oh, just within Exile Tribe, not including the subgroups and stuff like that. Singles alone,
And to get back to Rhythm Zone having a good week, they top and bottom the chart.
they topped and bottom of the chart. Yeah,
like 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 we can't have all 10 slots, but we're gonna take the top, we're gonna take the bottom, and keep riding.
yeah. We're just gonna keep riding there. Oh my goodness. I'm very sad because you know they also do daily charts. If you guys don't know about this, they do daily charts too, and I was fairly certain that Fairy Wink was going to get on there because when they released their album, it did very well. It was behind. It was right behind the Sandame um, of Exile Tribe, and I thought it was going to do good, but then I don't see any of them on here.
No. The,
God.
the funny thing is while there's 4 Idol Masters for the weekly, there's 0 Idol Masters for the daily.
Thank God. Thank God. And yeah, I looked on to 11 through 20, and they're right there. They're right at number 11.
Uh,
They missed it by 300 copies.
that is close.
Yeah, but it's just to show how competitive these numbers bottom out to, because looking like number 1 to number 2, almost 3 times as much copies were sold. But yeah, let's continue on to the album side now. And the album side's just as interesting, in my personal opinion.
It's always interesting, no matter what. The,
Yeah, uh, fucking- let's go on to number one, and it's by Mai Matsu Ban no Wa. Um, they are, if I remember correctly, they are Kiss My Feet's two subgroup.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I got the album when it came out. I'm not a huge Kiss My Feet 2 fan, so like this is kind of like their joke parody album, so they make a lot of weird and happy-go-lucky songs on this thing. So it's very interesting on that point of how to see whenever Johnny's do release a new album, they always top the charts anyway.
Yeah.
And they sold about 80,000 copies. Granted, I can understand because albums are like 3 to 4 times as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. And then going on to number two, it's Namie's Finally.
Again.
It's still selling strong,
Yeah.
50,000 copies,
Well,
54,000 copies.
it's the third
Stayed at number
episode.
two.
It's the third episode, and every week, every episode so far, number two, finally, but not me.
Yeah, yeah, just
It,
yeah,
it,
just
it's going strong. It came out in November '08, and I guess with the Christmas season being around and her being such a mainstay in the industry for 10 years, like this has got to be a hot commodity item. This is probably going to be a
oh yeah.
huge Christmas seller. And I mean, I started diving into it this week. It is long. The whole album is 52 tracks, so it's
Yeah.
it takes time getting through it, and I just I ran out of time, but I listened to as much as I could, and it's really good. It's solid stuff. I mean, it's just a compilation of basically her best of albums, and I mean there's nothing wrong with that. But it is 52 songs long, and that takes a lot of time.
Yeah, and Luna's been just ripping through those CDs.
Yeah, yeah, she has. I mean, she's a huge Namie fan, so
So,
like I would say if you're a Namie fan or if you're looking to get into Namie, this is the CD. This is
yeah,
it.
this is it. This is it.
Like if there's any song you would ever care about, it is on here. And I will say the very first track of the first album, Mr. USA, is one of the catchiest songs I have ever heard.
Maybe that's why it's on the first the first
Like
song.
just like start off like boom, like just like man, like I'm right now while we're doing the show, that song's still stuck in my head. like I hear it and I'm like, okay, that like it is in there.
It is in there, and like for me, I I've listened to a couple of Namie stuff. I guess I should say this while Luna's away because otherwise she would like crucify me. um,
Uh,
I just feel a chill down my spine just saying that. Me personally, I like certain styles of her music. I don't like all of her songs, obviously, but I've only liked a couple of them. And for me, I understand why she's a mainstay, and I understand certain uniqueness of her style, so to speak.
yeah,
And I'm happy that she's on here because I can probably see this going into the new year, probably as at probably number two again.
probably. I wish because when you pull up the Oricron, like we just have the weekly sales numbers, so we know like this week it sold 54,000 copies, 54,004 copies.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. That extra
but
4 really helps out.
hey, that's the difference, man, because it's a pretty expensive album. But I would love to see the lifetime sales numbers of this thing so far.
Yeah, when it finally dips off the charts, and the charts go very, very, very far down. They go up to 50.
Yeah.
So that means you could sell like three albums, and you'll probably be on there. But yeah, continuing on. Going on to number 3 is Kwang Ji Young, by G Dragon from Big Bang. Another Korean group. You know, personally, I know Big Bang. This is how far back Big Bang is. I know Big Bang.
Hey, I don't. I will say the album art cover is moderately cool.
Oh yeah, it's just a red
Red
square,
eye in a
and
red square.
yeah, just creeping me the fuck out. Tell you that much. And that sold a modest 39,000 copies. And if I do remember correctly, um, yeah, it has a lot of interesting songs that I won't say here because it's a very suggestive title for a lot of them, with the number one song being Middle Fingers Up.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, uh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, well,
We're not going to say the. We're not going to say number two.
yeah, we're not going to say number 2. We'll just continue on to going on to number 4. Is Blessed by Jin Akanishi. Now, this is very interesting. Jin Akanishi hasn't released anything for the past couple of years, if I remember correctly. Um, Ever since he got married, he hasn't been really doing stuff. I downloaded it when it came out. It was pretty good. It had a good beat. If you are a Jin Akanishi fan, you will definitely love this album. And Blessed is a great song. I did like Shine though. Shine was really good too, which is the ninth song on that album.
Yeah, the last. I'm looking at his discography right now. The last song he did was in 2016.
Yeah, so not too bad.
2 years.
So yeah, 2 years, about 2 years. But yeah, going down to number 5. This Kinky Kids is still on here. Their best of album. Selling a very modest 19,000 copies. But yeah, I Johnny's is still on there. They're holding on, but slowly losing momentum.
Yeah, give it time. I mean, they're a big studio company. I'm certain they'll have somebody else at the top in a month or two.
Yeah, but yeah. Continuing down to number 6. It is Chiho Toshi, by or Chiho Toshi, no Memento by Amazurashi.
Yep.
And Gray, you're kind of a fan of them, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Uh, if you count liking one song as a fan, then yeah, huge fan. I
It's
mean,
better than me.
I've only heard one other album. I didn't know that he had an album come out. I learned about it 4 minutes before we started recording. That he had this up today. He does do the third opening to My Hero Academia. So if you're a fan of the show, you would be familiar with one of the tracks on the album, Sora ni Utaiba.
Yeah.
Like I said, I listened to one of his other albums. It didn't hit much on me, so he could be one of those artists where it's like, well, I like the one song, and then the rest of his music, I don't know. This album may be different. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to check it out. Maybe in the next
Uh,
couple of weeks or so, but um,
yeah. They also sung the song in Near Automata. If you guys are a fan of that, they also sung that one of the songs in the game.
I think it's just a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you watch
So
like the music video, like I just see the guy playing, and I don't see much of another band. So I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Cause that tells you how much I know.
Uh, uh, I mean, I kind of corrected you. I didn't completely correct. So yeah, I mean, he yeah, Amazarashi. Um, like I said, if you like Sterling Utaiba, a lot of his other music is done like most of his other stuff that I heard is in a very similar style and similar tempo. So if you like that speed of music and that style of music, then check him out. He's not really an upbeat artist, from what I've heard. It's all that same kind of middle slow style music, kind of more soul searchy slow music. Yeah, like I think the reason why I like Sorani Utaiba is because it is it's more of what it's attached to than the song itself. Because you'll watch the opening of My Hero Academia going into it, and it's like it just kind of builds you up, and so I can carry the emotions that the show gave me through that song. If I didn't have the song, I don't know if I'd like it. If the show wasn't a thing, I don't know if I'd like the song or not. So, but um, he is number 6. He seems to be a relatively new artist. So I think this is maybe like his third or fourth album without doing any research. So,
Oh,
um,
nice, nice,
hopefully,
nice.
you know, more to come of him. Hopefully, he grows an audience. I mean, he's got a big enough audience already because he's number 6. So, yeah.
Yeah. He, continuing on, to number 7. Oh baby. Sensational Feeling 9. It is done by Sensational Feeling 9
Woohoo!
or SF9. Yeah, it's another Korean artist. It seems more and more times that I've seen that these Korean artists are making their album debuts in Japan, and that's fine. But um, let me just see here. It sold a very good 18,000 copies, and this one was a lot of a Japanese version of all their number ones, I believe, in the Korean charts.
Yeah.
But yeah, going down to number 8. It is Twice the Gram, first album. Oh god, done
My,
by Twice. And you know me. I deal with a lot of cringiness dealing with my job and trying to make names match and just seeing Twice the Gram.
I mean,
Yeah.
my thought is, um, like, do you think like they tried to make a band before it fell apart, and when they finally got another one again, they're like, hey, we got it the second time around. Ooh, twice. Let's do that.
Yeah,
I'm
Twice.
like,
Yeah, I
like,
don't. Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's funny. Twice is gonna be on the Kohaku, and they're one of the Korean bands that are going to be performing, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think it is Twice. Yeah, it is. It's gonna be the debut. So,
hey, well,
but yeah, but continuing on. Twice sold a lovely modest 14,000 copies. So it's hopefully they can sell twice as much the next time. But yeah, going down to number 9. Holding on there. is Dinosaurs by Bees.
Woohoo!
And Gray, you said you finally kind of dived in.
Oh yeah,
What
yeah,
you?
yeah. This album is rocking. Um,
Yeah,
Definitely like just like there's people I know that can describe this album way better than I can, but the like the first track is my favorite track, but the whole album is stellar, and it is like they know what they're doing. Like solid hits, and yeah, Dinosaur just like I think I've listened to that song like uh since we last recorded. I've probably listened to that song about 10, 15, 20 times. Like it just gets stuck in my head. The way the guitar riffs, um, the lyrics, everything just is awesome. And like it just it reminds me of, I don't want to say 80s rock because it's not quite that, but it's kind of close. And
yeah.
I grew up on 80s rock, so that's where I'm coming from it as. But it's not 80s rock. Don't listen to it thinking it's going to be. It's certainly not. But it is really good. And if you like rock music in any manner, check this one out. This album rocks. Pun intended.
Definitely. Yeah, pun intended there. Definitely. You know, yeah, I wasn't listening to it too much this week, but I was listening to a lot of Bees' older music because I really did like Bees back a couple of years back. That was probably one of the groups I was kind of into when I was studying abroad in Japan, actually. But yeah, rounding out, uh, number 10 is Gintama Best Four. If it's mostly their ending their anime themes, they just pretty
Yeah.
much put it all in one lovely album and then just shove it out there.
Uh, And
Um,
and and this is something that you see a lot of with like really popular long running anime. I know One Piece has done it. I know Inuyasha's done it. Um, I wouldn't be too shocked if Naruto's done it.
I would
Like
think Naruto has done it.
yeah, yeah, like that's a very common. Fairy Tail's also done it. I actually have two of the albums. Um, because yeah, that's something very popular, and it's a good idea, especially since in Japan they still use licensed music for openings and endings, and it's a good way to make more money because fans of the show like the songs, and sometimes they're probably not interested in going out and buying particular artists just for a singular song. So when they do like a best of openings and endings, fans with not as much money can go, well, hey, I liked all these openings and endings for the show. Let me go and give the show more money through.
Yeah, it's a value pack, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah,
But
like
yeah, it sold a very modest, good amount. I want to say 12,000, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 12,000, and I mean
Yeah.
that's not bad. I mean, I know Gintama's really popular. It's also ending. Like I think the manga just wrapped up, and I think the anime is going to wrap up soon.
Oh,
So
really? I didn't even know that.
yeah, yeah. It's done. So that's probably the reason why they're releasing this now. Is because there's not going to be any more, and it's just a way of saying goodbye to the series. I think the last thing they're going to do is a movie, and that'll be it.
Oh, the animation movie, not the live action one.
Oh yeah, that is a live action. Oh well, that's a whole
Yeah,
topic
we
for a
don't
whole
talk
nother
about that
show.
one.
But yeah. Game Time is coming to an end, so this is probably just a send off in a lot of ways.
But yeah, do, do, do. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a couple of housekeeping things for on our side. We do have a Twitter and an email. Where can you contact us there, Gray?
Twitter and email's the same. Ongaku to you. All one word. Our Twitter handle is ongaku to you. Gmail, just add at gmail.com. You can reach us there. All three of us have access to it, and we check it pretty much daily. If you leave us a message or anything like that, we'll be certain to get back to you as fast as possible. We all have jobs, and so we may not be able to immediately respond to you, but we'll get back to you the best we can and have the best answer that we can come up with at the time. So, and if we need more time to come up with an answer, we will give you hey, give us a little time. We're looking into this, and we'll shoot you a final answer when we're done.
Yeah. Um, and I know this isn't really. We didn't bring this up on our news, but I just want to give our respects and our prayers and thoughts towards something that happened this past week between the main singer of Shiny. Uh, you know, n- Not to dwell on it too much, and I'm pretty sure a lot more knowledgeable people have already talked about it. And we just want to give our thoughts and prayers to the families and the friends of the singer.
Yeah, it's a travesty what happened, and it's always sad when someone goes to that extreme and does something like that. And I haven't really looked into the news or did any research on it. Luna knows more about it than I do. Um, so next week she'll be back on, and I'm certain she'll give her thoughts as well. So, but
Yeah,
yeah, our thoughts and prayers certainly go out and comfort the family, certainly the fans that are grieving and hurting over this, um, and you know, hopefully um, things get better in um, you know,
yeah, it's a hard thing to go through. But
yeah,
yeah, not to end on such a downer here, but we just needed to kind of address it. Um,
yeah,
because Shiny did make a foray in the Japanese market, and we kind of just needed to address it. But yeah, if you guys haven't heard or didn't know about this, our beginning opening song is by Wasabi Green by Fukuhara Miho. You guys should listen to it. It's a really good song, regardless.
yes, and it's on her something new EP.
Yeah,
It is the song that we've been using the first three episodes, just like a little intro, just to get the show going and to set the mood for the show. And down the road, hopefully that'll change and we'll mix it up a little bit, because we're going to experiment down the road and do different things. But right now, while we're still trying to establish a base and get everything the way we need it and want it, um, we're just going to keep the same song for a little while, um, and hopefully when we start changing things, like, you guys will stick with us and really enjoy
yeah,
it.
yeah. Hopefully, and um, this is a good time than ever to kind of bring it up. So, in the next couple of weeks, we are going to start taking requests, and we are going to actually kind of talk about different artists and genres of Japanese music, besides just us telling you what's on the Oricon chart. The main focus of our podcast is to kind of just tell everyone and kind of introduce Japanese style music to everyone.
It is meant to be educational.
It's
Yeah,
meant to
in a
be
good way.
educational.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a good way. Not just me just complaining about Idolmaster for 25 minutes or so.
Eh.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be back again next week. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. This is Ken signing off.
And this is Gray, and you guys have a good week.